everyone, Fadi here from OCT again. So we're out in the wilderness today. As you can see, we're not in the office. So we're going to talk about wilderness first aid and why this is going to be the most important skill that you would ever learn. Excuse the notepad guys, I made some notes so that we can get an accurate definition here. So the definition of wilderness first aid according to scouting.org: wilderness first aid is the assessment of and treatment given to an ill or injured person in a remote environment where definitive care by a physician and or rapid transport is not relatively available outside the normal range of EMS. So let's look at what is the normal range of EMS. What does that define? Now for the guys in South Africa, in the cities that's fairly easy because there's 600 different private ambulance services as well as the government service that can respond out here. In the rural areas, you're lucky if you have one in a 50-kilometer radius. We're lucky we have a service like that. So, but it still takes time. So that's anything from an hour to 2 hours plus for them to get here. Why is wilderness first aid different? First of all, it's your mindset. You need to do a complete 180 degrees and reassess your mindset to treating or solving a problem. Point number 2, your time with your patient. You can spend anything from 2 to 24 hours with a patient. Just bringing you back to the mindset, you need to be prepared to go through the stages with that patient. Number 3, so you need to be prepared for complications that you would not see as a normal first aider in the office. I'm talking about the longer onset of hypothermia, patient going into shock, treating that shock. So you need to be ready and prepared to treat those problems as they may arise. The stress that this environment puts on the first aider or first responder. You can imagine out here, if your buddy falls, break a leg, you can't carry him out due to the terrain. I'll put some pictures up here now. You can't carry him out because he's got a compound femur fracture and he's bleeding, and you can't dare to move him because he's fallen down this hillside and you don't know if he's got a spinal injury. So dealing with that stress and talking to that guy and setting up your treatment point while preparing to try and get help, all of that puts a lot of stress on the first aider or the person treating the patient. And your equipment, your standard first aid kits are going to vary quite a bit from what we would use out here. As you can see, a form of shelter. This is a poncho, and the type of backpack and the tools that I'm carrying. That's all going to be different to your regulation 3 or regulation 7 first aid kits that you'll find in the office. So where you won't find duct tape in your office first aid kit, you will definitely need it out here. And there's a few other things as well. We'll cover that in a later video. What can you do to prep as a wilderness first aider? What can you do to prepare your mindset to deal with an incident out here? First of all, you need to, again, mindset guys, mindset. If you are open-minded and you can stay calm and you are ready to improvise or to assess a problem calmly, that will already go a long way in helping yourself as well as your buddy that's injured. Attend credible instruction. This might sound kind of contraindicatory, but listening to YouTube videos only is not going to help you solve the problem. You need to go out, you need to attend a course, a first aid course with a credible instructor with a proven track record that can safely put you in an environment where you need to simulate and actually treat patients like this in a controlled environment, but it's still as realistic as possible. All of that would help you prepare and mitigate the stress further on. And then be physically fit. I'm not saying comrades or ultramarathon type fit, but at least be able to climb a few flights of stairs without having a heart attack. Go out with your backpack or a bicycle, or just run with the dogs or something. Just be physically fit. the fitter you are, the easier your body is going to deal with the stresses of wilderness, as well as the longer time that you're going to spend with that patient. If you have to spend or help a buddy carry him out a couple of kilometers out of the backcountry, it's going to tax, and it's going to make you tired, and it's going to make you make mistakes that might make you end up as an injury or casualty yourself. So in the beginning of this video I said we're going to talk about wilderness first aid and why this is the most important skill you'll ever learn in your life, which is quite a bold statement, I have to say, but let me explain to you why I said that. Just keep in mind everything I said now about mindset, about keeping an open mind, being physically fit. Keep all of those things in mind when I go through the next few points, and you'll understand why I say what I say. If you are able to cope with stresses out in the wilderness, you will be able to cope with stress almost anywhere. If you are able to cope with the stresses of the weather, of your body being in pain, of you having to think about survival, physical survival, not just a deadline in your office, everything else will seem almost irrelevant and just another day. It teaches you life skills of adapting, communicating, improvising, stress management, time management. Everything out here is not always dictated by this, but it has to be in the back of your mind, especially when someone is hurt. There's something called the golden hour, and the golden hour and the platinum 10 minutes. Out here, that's not always relevant for us because it might just take you an hour to get to a place where it's signal. It might get the responding service 2 hours to get to you, or just to the access road to get to you. So time is always relevant. It teaches you to plan and to think. So from the point and time of injury, your mind needs to start planning. You need to think about, how long am I going to be here? Am I going to need shelter? Is my buddy's assessments done? Is all the life-threatening injuries treated? Do I need water, shelter, fire, heat, food, communication, signaling? Am I in the best spot to go further? And all of these things help you if you pull it back to your day-to-day life, and just makes you more aware of what you need to do on a daily basis. I want to bring two analogies in here, and the one I need to apologize for the language, and that's the 6 P's of planning. Now I know there's a couple of guys out there that's giggling at this. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Okay, that's actually 7, but I just like to put that one word in there just for effect, because just poor performance out here, it just doesn't cover it. It just doesn't cover it. If you go out in the sticks unprepared, if you fail to plan, here's another one. Failing to plan is planning to fail. If you do not plan in advance or just make the basic preparations, it's going to be a bad day. When it goes wrong, it's going to go terribly wrong. Okay guys, yeah, enough with the notepad, but from the heart here. As a medic, I've been a medic for almost 10 years now, and in that time I've attended probably four wilderness first aid classes where I was not the instructor, where I was actually attending someone else's classes. And as a medical professional, and I'm not saying I'm some surgical genius, I'm just saying that as a medic that's got some city-based experience and a lot of wilderness experience, just attending and going back to the basics of first aid and first aid in difficult places kind of puts a new perspective on everything. So if you value the lives of your friends or the lives of your family, and you go out hunting and fishing, and guys, it's not even relevant to only wilderness areas. If there is riots, natural disasters, and you're stuck in your own home, we'll go back to the definition here. In a remote environment where definitive care by a physician and or rapid transport is not readily available, if they are striking and areas are inaccessible, or suburbs are inaccessible, that rapid transport's not going to be there. So you must be able to take those wilderness skills into your own home and improvise and make do with what you have. Guys, yeah, so this is the intro to our wilderness first aid series. Enjoy. We've got a couple of videos coming up and some skills assessment where I'll be teaching you guys how to improvise certain things and how to choose your equipment so that improvisation is possible but not your first plan. Guys, again, thank you. Be safe, be vigilant, read up, and enjoy.